rock bands that are starting, punk rockers. I don't care. Go to school. Learn your business. If you're going to be a musician, this is your
Wayne
craft.
Kramer was a legendary guitarist who founded the MC5 and completely transformed the Detroit rock music scene. As a punk pioneer, he once gave an interview where he discussed his 10 favorite musicians who influenced his revolutionary sound. The selections he made showed just how deep his musical knowledge went, revealing influences that extended far beyond the raw punk energy most people associated with his band. The MC5 was something Kramer created out of his own drive and passion. He started the band because it was something he genuinely wanted to do. While some of his picks included well-known rock legends, many of his choices demonstrated that he had a sophisticated understanding of music that went way beyond punk rock. Kramer built his entire career on raw power and a revolutionary spirit, but the musicians who influenced him taught him about much more than just loud guitars. They showed him about intensity, spirituality, and how music could be connected to social change and political movements. Kramer appreciated musicians who could combine technical skill with emotional honesty and political awareness. His list covered blues, jazz, and rock music, showing how all these different styles came together to create the unique MC5 sound. From Detroit blues legends to free jazz pioneers, his countdown revealed the deep foundations of his groundbreaking approach to music. Each musician on his list contributed something essential to how Kramer thought about music and his revolutionary vision. Ted Nugent was another Detroit guitar hero who showed the young Wayne Kramer what aggressive rock guitar could actually sound like. Nugent's raw energy and powerful tone made a huge impression on Kramer when he was still developing as a guitarist. Kramer watched Nugent's early performances and learned important lessons about stage presence and how to bring intensity to a live show. It completely amazed him and made him realize the possibilities of what someone could do with an electric guitar. Even though their musical and political paths went in very different directions later in life, Nugent's early work definitely influenced how Kramer approached loud, aggressive guitar playing. Nugent's work with the Amboy Dukes showed how Detroit rock could be wild and completely untamed. His guitar solos were explosive and filled with primal energy that audiences could feel. Kramer appreciated how dedicated Nugent was to making audiences really feel the power of the electric guitar. Both musicians came from the same Detroit scene that valued raw intensity more than polished perfection. What Kramer took away from watching Nugent was understanding how important physical energy was in rock performance. Nugent demonstrated that a guitar could be used as a weapon of pure sonic assault. Even though they ended up on very different paths musically and politically, Kramer always acknowledged the role Nugent played in shaping Detroit's aggressive guitar sound. That early Detroit energy became an important part of the MC5's revolutionary foundation. Tyner was the charismatic lead singer of the MC5 and Wayne Kramer's creative partner in the band. Tyner had a powerful voice and brought a radical political vision that completely shaped the MC5's revolutionary message. Kramer deeply admired how committed Tyner was to using music as a tool for creating social change. Their collaboration created some of the most explosive and politically charged music that rock and roll had ever seen. Tyner brought intellectual depth and poetic power to match the MC5's primal musical energy. His vocals on songs like Kick Out the Jams and Motor City is Burning were fierce and uncompromising. Kramer loved how Tyner could combine street credibility with genuine political consciousness. Together, they created a vision of rock music as a revolutionary force that could change society. What made Tyner special was his ability to put into words the rage and hope that their entire generation was feeling. He wasn't just a singer performing songs, but a true spokesman for change. Kramer valued Tyner's fearlessness and his dedication to the MC5's radical mission. Their partnership showed Kramer that music could actually inspire people to take action and challenge existing power structures directly.
Fred Sonic Smith was Wayne Kramer's guitar partner in the MC5 and his closest musical collaborator. Their dual guitar attack created the revolutionary wall of sound that the MC5 became famous for. Smith's approach to guitar perfectly complemented Kramer's style, creating a unified sonic assault. Kramer valued Smith's musical intelligence and his understanding of how two guitars could work together as if they were one instrument. Smith's guitar work was more melodic and textured compared to Kramer's aggressive lead style. He created the musical foundation that allowed Kramer to soar with explosive solos. Together, they pioneered the twin guitar approach that punk and metal bands would later copy and build upon. Kramer appreciated how Smith was dedicated to serving the song while still pushing musical boundaries at the same time. What made Smith irreplaceable was his combination of power and musical sophistication. He understood both raw energy and subtle dynamics. Kramer learned from Smith that revolutionary music needed both chaos and structure working together. Their partnership created something much bigger than either of them could have achieved working alone, showing Kramer the real power of true musical collaboration. Iggy Pop pioneered punk rock alongside the MC5 in Detroit's explosive late 1960s music scene. His raw, primal performances with the Stooges showed Kramer that rock music could be completely uncompromising. Iggy's stage presence was dangerous and unpredictable, which inspired Kramer's own confrontational approach to performing. Both bands pushed rock music towards raw, honest expression without any commercial compromise. The Stooges' minimalist approach revealed that real power came from intensity rather than musical complexity. Iggy's vocals were pure emotion without any technical polish or refinement. Kramer admired how Iggy stripped rock music down to its most essential elements. Songs like I Wanna Be Your Dog proved that simplicity could be absolutely devastating when delivered with total commitment. What Kramer learned from watching Iggy was the importance of authenticity and taking risks in performance. Iggy held absolutely nothing back when he was on stage, giving everything to the moment. That fearlessness inspired Kramer to push his own performances beyond safe boundaries. Iggy showed that rock music could be art, rebellion, and catharsis all at the same time.
Chuck Berry invented rock and roll guitar and created the foundation for everything that came after him. His innovative playing combined rhythm and lead guitar seamlessly while he sang and performed at the same time. Kramer studied Berry's records very intensely, learning how great guitar riffs could drive songs forward with unstoppable momentum. Berry's work showed Kramer that the guitar could be the absolute centerpiece of rock music. Berry's introductions to songs like Johnny B. Good and Roll Over Beethoven are among the most influential guitar moments in all of music history. His double-string bending technique became essential vocabulary that rock guitarists needed to learn. Berry's rhythm playing was just as important as his solos, creating the foundation for modern rock music. Kramer appreciated how Berry could make complex techniques sound natural and effortless. What made Berry essential was his completeness as both an artist and innovator. He wrote brilliant songs, played revolutionary guitar, and created rock's visual language and stage presence. Kramer recognized that Berry built the blueprint that the MC5 later exploded and expanded upon. Every revolutionary rock guitarist stands on the foundation that Berry created. His influence on Kramer's rhythm playing and songwriting was profound and permanent. John Coltrane revolutionized jazz music with spiritual intensity that completely transcended normal musical boundaries. His saxophone playing reached for higher consciousness through sound. Kramer discovered Coltrane's music and found a model for how music could be both technically brilliant and spiritually transformative at the same time. Coltrane showed that virtuosity could serve emotional and spiritual expression rather than just being flashy displays of skill. Coltrane's albums like A Love Supreme demonstrated how improvisation could become meditation and prayer. His extended solos built intensity through repetition and exploration, rather than just showing off. Kramer studied Coltrane's approach to building emotional power through sustained focus. The saxophonist's dedication to constant growth and experimentation inspired Kramer's own musical evolution throughout his career. What Kramer learned from Coltrane was that music could be a spiritual practice and a revolutionary act at the same time. Coltrane pursued transcendence through his instrument with total dedication and commitment. That combination of technical mastery and spiritual seeking became central to Kramer's own philosophy about music. Coltrane proved that virtuosity and soul were not opposite things, but essential partners in creating truly meaningful music. Sun Ra created cosmic jazz that combined avant-garde experimentation with Afrofuturist philosophy and mythology. His orchestra performances were theatrical, spiritual, and musically revolutionary all at once. Kramer discovered Sun Ra and found an artist who proved that music could be completely free and deeply meaningful at the same time. Sun Ra's music combined free improvisation with disciplined ensemble playing in completely unique ways. His use of electronic instruments and unconventional arrangements expanded Kramer's understanding of what music could actually be. Sun Ra's philosophy that musicians were cosmic beings with revolutionary missions resonated deeply with Kramer's own political vision. Both of them believed that music could transform consciousness and society. What made Sun Ra essential to Kramer was his complete artistic vision that encompassed music, philosophy, and performance all together. Sun Ra never compromised his radical vision for commercial acceptance or mainstream success. Kramer learned that true artistic freedom required total commitment to your vision, regardless of the consequences. Sun Ra's influence taught Kramer that revolutionary music needed radical consciousness behind it to be truly effective. Albert Ayler pioneered free jazz with raw emotional power and complete disregard for traditional musical conventions. His saxophone playing was visceral, spiritual, and revolutionary in every possible sense. Kramer discovered Ayler and found the blueprint for the MC5's entire sonic approach. Ayler's albums combined spiritual intensity with revolutionary sonic freedom that inspired Kramer profoundly. His approach to improvisation was completely fearless and emotionally naked. Ayler played with the intensity of someone who was channeling forces beyond himself. Kramer heard in Ayler the connection between musical freedom and political revolution that he wanted to bring to rock music. What Kramer learned from Ayler was that true freedom in music required completely destroying old structures. Ayler didn't just modify jazz traditions, he transcended them entirely. That fearlessness inspired the MC5's approach to rock music. Kramer translated Ayler's free jazz intensity into electric guitar, creating a revolutionary rock sound. Ayler proved that breaking every rule could actually create the most powerful music possible. Charlie Parker revolutionized jazz in the 1940s with bebop's lightning-fast improvisation and harmonic sophistication. His alto saxophone playing changed music forever across all genres. Kramer discovered Bird as a teenager, and his entire understanding of music expanded instantly. Parker's improvisations were structurally brilliant while remaining emotionally powerful and immediate. His technical mastery served artistic expression rather than just showing off skills for their own sake. Kramer studied Parker's records obsessively, learning about harmonic movement and rhythmic sophistication. Parker proved that revolutionary artists needed both technical command and visionary creativity working together. What made Parker essential to Kramer was his combination of discipline and freedom. Parker mastered all the musical fundamentals before transcending them completely. That balance between structure and liberation became central to Kramer's own approach to music. Parker showed that true freedom came from complete mastery of your instrument, not from ignorance of technique.
His influence on Kramer's musical thinking went deeper than just guitar technique and affected how he thought about music in general.
John Lee Hooker was the Detroit blues legend whose raw, hypnotic style created the foundation for rock music as we know it. His driving rhythms and emotional intensity taught Wayne Kramer everything essential about music's real power. Kramer placed Hooker at #1 on his list because Hooker showed him that music's deepest power comes from feeling and groove, not from complexity or technical displays. Hooker's one-chord blues style demonstrated that simplicity with total commitment beats complexity without soul every single time. Kramer watched Hooker perform in Detroit clubs and learned about hypnotic rhythm and primal energy. Hooker's endless boogie grooves created trance-like states in audiences. His approach to blues was physical, spiritual, and completely authentic. The MC5's relentless rhythmic drive came directly from studying Hooker's approach to music. Kramer learned that revolutionary music needed an unshakable foundation and unstoppable forward motion. What made Hooker irreplaceable was his complete authenticity and emotional directness. Every single note he played carried the weight of real experience and genuine feeling. Kramer recognized that all of his musical experiments and political statements ultimately rested on Hooker's blues foundation. Hooker taught him that music's real power comes from truth and commitment rather than technical displays of skill. The #1 ranking shows Kramer's deep understanding that Detroit blues was the root of everything revolutionary he accomplished with the MC5. That foundation gave him the grounding he needed to take music in new and experimental directions while maintaining the emotional core that made the music powerful and meaningful to audiences.